Edgypat has entered chat.
Throw some shrimp on the Barbie. TJ, the man from down under, has entered chat. On this episode of Corvus the Resin Slayer, we're gonna be panel lining this bitch up. How was that? Was that good? Good evening, everyone. I hope you're well. My head's awfully big. 20-minute episode. Papa Dookie, welcome. Etchibat, welcome. Papa Dookie, it's gonna. I can't panel line that quickly, so I don't know. How is everybody? How's your weekend treating you? Hope everybody's good. I've had a pretty good day. Oh, wait, sorry. When I say I had a pretty good day, I meant I had a grueling day of back-breaking labor. That was my day. Shed building. Got to start on it. More to do tomorrow. Yep. Just need to build a little tiny house. Little tiny house to put my lawnmower in. And my various poisons. Hey, King Yuchi. How you doing, my friend? Papa Dookie, if it was just me sitting here without the whole live stream thing going on, 20 minutes. But right, Twitch time dilation is going to stretch that out to something far more ridiculous in the eyes of a normal hobbyist. Doing well, just had a busy day entertaining guests. Oh. Was it a good kind of entertaining guests or a bad kind of entertaining guests?
Look, everyone, hide your manga. Dreamcatcher Sky just entered Corvus's chat. Welcome to the stream, Dreamcatcher-senpai.
Dreamcatcher with the $1 million entrance. Fuck this weekend in the butt with a hot curling iron. Last night was horrible. Well, welcome? Welcome?
Drift has connected to chat at 56k baud.
Hey, Drift. How you doing? So I'm trying, I've moved some stuff around here. I've changed. Drift is connected to chat. I've moved some stuff around. I have moved this camera over a little tiny bit. Got my good side. And I have a better light now. I have a key, like I don't know if you'd call it a...
Cruising down Santa Monica Boulevard with the top down, Tear23 has just joined chat.
Hello, Tear. So I have a light here now. Here. Like, draw lines from my fingers, and where they meet at their intersection is the light. So you can actually see the front of the model now. Isn't that neat? I had no idea that's how photons worked. Hey, Jack. Good morning, good night, and good afternoon, depending on where you at. Oh, Dreamcatcher. Hang on. I'm gonna need a little drink for this one. My client fell, split the top of his tongue, and bled a little bit, which looked like more than a little bit. And so I panicked and had to contact my supervisor, who told me to call the family member who hired us, and I couldn't get a hold of them. So she said to call the paramedics, and it was damn half a circus for 20 minutes. I was soaked in sweat. Yikes. Well, I hope that's all behind you. I mean, tongues are like, I might be wrong on this, but aren't tongues a bit like, hey, Greatest Chan, welcome, and enjoy the lurk, as Greatest J Chan descends into the darkness. I think tongues when they get cut severely, they bleed a lot, don't they? They're like scalps, right? Like you get a head wound and it'll keep bleeding. There's just a lot of blood. Tongues are bleeders. Yeah, look worse than they are. Yeah. Hey, Iron. How you doing? More tape. All right. Well, anyway, I hope this new setup looks okay. Good. Hey, and into the void, into da void. Welcome. So in the interest of like speeding things up a little tiny bit, I'm going to panel line with the enamel panel liner. Because if I panel line with oils, you kind of have to wait quite a while for those to dry. So we're just going to panel line with the enamels. Hopefully, by the time I get to the end of the panel lining, we'll be able to swing back around, clean up the panel lines, and start oil washes on the parts. So that's the plan anyway. And we might put a decal or two on it here or there, and I might add some accent color to the gun as well. That's the plan for tonight. We'll see. This part has a ton of the floor polish on it, which is why it's so shiny. I kind of overdid it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter in the end. Because it'll all get a bunch of dull coat, tester's dull coat. Figure out where my camera needs to be here. Bear with me. Thank you to everyone who answered me in the Discord on the question I asked about whether to have multiple projects on the go versus just a single one at a time. The consensus on the Discord was that I should just do one thing at a time. Which I'm quite happy with. I just wanted to make sure that people weren't getting bored. Especially with some of I mean, this one hasn't been too bad, but especially with some of the bigger projects. Because we potentially have some quite long ones on the horizon. Bored? Not a chance. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Tear. Can watch sanding and pinning all day long. Some like 'em long and boring. Do we need a safe word? Only if there's no trust. The fuck is that? Weird. Some schmutz. As always, chat links are open in chat. If you have some work that you've been doing that you want to share, please feel free. I don't think that's actually a panel line there. Well, it kind of is. Love seeing what other people are doing. So. And I guess the other thing, I mean, I have, I'll probably get a significant amount of this done off stream between now and Wednesday, whatever we don't get done tonight. That's the plan anyway. And then on Wednesday, we'll do, I'm hoping to have some significant amount of the diorama done, and we can kind of just work on finishing touches on that. Tossing some RAM in the unraid box. Enjoy the lurk drift. But I guess it's time to sort of start thinking about what's next. A little bit. Yeah, well, I mean, I'll do, okay, well, then maybe I won't do the diorama stuff off stream. If you guys are into that. I mean, everybody does dioramas differently. But I can show you my method. I mean, this one's not going to be too complicated. Hey, yeah, no worries. Go toss that ram. Eat that ram. My children cringe every time I say the word eat. children cringe when I show up. Yeah, I get a bit of that too. Oof, way too much. I'll check that out in a sec there, Dreamcatcher. I feel as though that's all going to run out of there. There. Did I miss anything? Yeah, down here. There. All right. Shopping for caskets. That's what I was thinking too, Puppet. Very cool. With shopping for caskets, by the way, because they're cheaper wholesale than from a funeral director, and I figure I could save money. Buy one, keep it in storage to save my family money when I die 2,000 years from now. Not sure I can handle the anxiety. Yeah, me neither. I don't need to sleep in something that, you know, all it takes is somebody putting a couple of heavy cinder blocks on, and then I can't get out of, you know? But they're nice and snug, like a big hug. Yeah. So is the machine in theory, but by that same reasoning, so is the machine that crushes cars into little cubes, right? They're just like a big hug. Oh yeah. All right, let's fix that. Thanks, Yuchi. I'm all right. I'm still here. I'm just trying to figure out my camera. Just give me a few secs, okay, guys? Well, I don't know what to say. It may have just actually died. Might be a no-face stream. Let me think here if there's something else I can do. Let me just try one other thing. Morning, Bora. Just troubleshooting some technical difficulties here. Tappy, tappy, tap, tap. Just trying to get it back to the way it was. I have no idea what happened, but it's like the frame rate's really crap right now. Let me just try one thing. Put that there. Ugh, why is it flashing? Partial. How's that? Is that better? Did the thumb detecting that fucker work? There's a YouTuber named AVE who is the quintessential Western Canadian. Save changes. AVE, that's right. That's where some of those expressions are from. Cockford Ollie. And all that. All right, well, hopefully, yeah, engage safety squints. Engaging safety squints. Guy's a legend. That's right. He works in the oil fields, Alberta oil fields. I'm glad you know him, Yuchi. Glad you know him. It's good. Okay, a little bit down there. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's not a piece of shit camera. So, I mean, it's one of those Razer Kios or whatever they're called. Which I would have thought would be less blow-up proof. My favorite YouTuber by far. Yeah, he's a good one. He is a good one. All right, so that's looking pretty good. So we'll put that one to the side. And let's take another part off. Let's deal with this arm maybe. I watch his videos trying to understand the lingo. Watching him get stuff chooching real good and releasing the shmoo. That's right, get those angry pixies under control in the baterias. Free hashtag free the pixies. Chinesium. I can't remember when I stumbled across his channel. I think it was back when he did the teardown of the Juicero. Yeah, and he's got little nicknames for all the various stores. Was it Fap-Off? Fap-Off tools instead of Snap-On tools. Okay, those ones are done. Those ones have done. Get these. Yeah, Milfucky. The homeless death spot. So I can spend my hard-earned Kanukistanian rubles. It's Skookum. It's Skookum as frig. Jack. That's what I was thinking when I was looking at those hobby, what the hell would you call those things? Those hobby things you were showing off. I'm of the opinion that we are, because we are known as Canadians, the country should be called Canadia. A Duclaw, that's right. He's in more of the videos lately too. Yeah, and you know, King Yuchi, his materials knowledge is like above board too. Like he knows, you know, he knows what plastics should be used where and why. and just impressive individual. Yeah. Think my husband have a shirt. Oh, a shirt. Yeah. Well, keep your dick in the vice. That is, I don't know, to some foreigners, non-Canuckistanians, that's a pretty cryptic reference, I'd imagine. Keep your dick in a vice. Why does he tell us to put our members in a clamp at the end of his videos? There's this old Canadian TV show called The Red Green Show that always ended with the main guy, Red Green, telling everybody to take care and keep their stick on the ice. Dirty dick beaters. Yeah. So that's where that reference is sort of from. Now you know. Keep your stick on the ice and your head up. I'm, just so people are aware, one of the 7 Canadians who are not fans of hockey. We're known as the Group of 7. Oh, and the Royal. Oh, are you a member of the famous Canadian Group of 7 as well? White Wolf. Bora knows more of the lingo than we do. I do. I mean, I don't mind hockey. I just, just don't need it in my life. I watch a lot of AV. We know. Every year I find out more and more of my childhood shows were animated in Canada. Oh, now is that like the, oh shit, what was the name of the company? Hanna-Barbera? Was it the Hanna-Barbera stuff? Is it Hanna-Barbera or Hanna-Barbera? It's Barbera, isn't it? It's not Don Bluth, right? The Bluth group was American. I would love to visit Canada. It's on my bucket list. I've never met a Canadian I didn't get on with. Well, for the most part, we're okay. There are quite a few dicks and assholes and shitty Canadians, though, unfortunately. But, I don't know, there's not as many. Not as many. For years, I had the perfect defense on which team was better, Calgary or Edmonton. I lived in Red Deer. I am so sorry. I would say I was a Pittsburgh fan. Sadly, after half a decade of this literally killing conversation, someone replied to me with, "You must be really happy this year." And I was all, "Wait, what?" And he was all, "You don't really like hockey, do you?" Nickelodeon. Wait a minute. Nickelodeon's animated in Canada? I think that year they won the cup. Some stuff was. Okay, interesting. AKA Dead Rear. Soundscapes. Welcome. How are you doing? How you doing, Sound? How's it going? Little Bear was animated in Canada, yes. Fucking Little Bear. Thank you. Happy weekends to you too. Happy weekends to you too. Are you streaming today? Way too much. Just doing some panel lining here. I made a point to escape it every weekend I could. So, Jack, you were saying you managed to get a few of the modules built. How do they look? Okay, let's do this. Welcome back, Jeff. I don't have an unlurk command. Unfortunately. Did you miss anything? We helped Dreamcatcher pick a casket. We learned about Bora's infatuation with a Canadian YouTuber named AVE. Zound popped in. And White Wolf explained tactics for getting out of conversations about hockey. Did I miss anything? King Yuchi, thanks for dropping by as always. Take care, my friend. Have a good one. Have a good one. Look forward to your next stream. What was this that you set up here, White Wolf? Funny part, though, after 3.5 years, There, I kind of liked it. Then parents wanted to move back to Edmonton, and I was all, screw that. I've done over a decade there. I moved into Calgary. Yeah, Calgary. Didn't turn out so well for me. And now I'm back in Edmonton. But they were still good times. Even when I drunkenly almost tried to fight the river while walking home. Haven't we all? That part of the river was pretty close to it'll kill you part. Okay. After a few moments of thinking, I went, you know, I'm dumb. I'm just going to keep walking home. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. That's funny. That story about how you almost died's funny. Do his head. You should move out here, White Wolf. We've got a sales tax. Huh? Panel lines aren't very deep on this. Don't know, Victoria would put me half an hour away from my parents instead of 12. Where are they? Up in like Duncan or somewhere? Or Vancouver? Use the observatory and rainforest to entice me. So many memories of the ones just outside Comox and Courtney, yeah. Some parts of Victoria, that's not quite Victoria. None of the locals call it Victoria. Well, I mean, Victoria is a stupid city. I have no idea what if you're trying to, if you're alluding to some other part of Victoria. But, I mean, we all call it Victoria here, but at the end of the day, you know, these are all the cities that comprise Victoria. North Saanich, Central Saanich, Sydney, Saanich, View Royal, the Highlands, Esquimalt, Metchosin, Colwood, Langford. There's Victoria, and we also have Oak Bay. And I don't think I missed any. But those are all completely separate municipal governments. They all have their own mayors. They all have their own councillors. And then there's a bigger thing called the CRD, which handles, like, it's kind of like it was put into place because sort of like, you guys really should be one city, but you're not, so we'll just handle all the stuff that kind of should be handled as though you're all just one city. It's really weird. I forgot where my parents said they live in Victoria. Hey, that's okay. BC is weird. I like it. No worries. You know, I can see the case for not just combining all into one city because, like, the wants and needs of the population in North Saanich, for example, are completely different than what somebody would be wanting in Esquimalt or Victoria proper, right? So I get that they just don't, there's no incentive to becoming one city. I can understand it. Here in Edmonton, they're trying to convince Leduc and Nisku to become part of Edmonton. Polite version of what the reply was along the lines of, get lost, we don't want your stupidity. Yeah. Yes, the island is quite wonderful. I mean, I live on the Saanich Peninsula, which is north of Victoria, between Victoria and there's a peninsula that sort of sticks out just north of Victoria. That is where the airport and the ferry terminal to Vancouver is, and on one side of it we have the ocean, like the ocean proper. On the other side, we have a lovely warm inlet. We have a number of tiny little villages and agricultural land, which is where sort of I live. I live in more of an agricultural area. And yeah, it's really picturesque. Lovely. I'm glad we made the decision to move here. Starting to look nice, the hobby zone. Fantastic. It's also full of retirees. You know what? To be honest with you, I mean, it is and it isn't. Parts of it are. Like, I work in Sydney, British Columbia, which is also sort of the main sort of bigger city on the peninsula. And it is absolutely full of retired people. But there are also a lot of younger people in other parts of this same city. Like, you move out to what we call the western communities, which are sort of northwest of Victoria proper, and there it's all new young families for the most part. I mean, what's the old joke for the newlywed and the nearly dead? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's how different it is from Courtney Comox. It's probably a lot more diverse. We see a lot of people cash out in Victoria and move up to the Comox, Courtney area because of the real estate price difference. Oh, Jack's gonna make us drool again here. Check that out. And so what were you saying? The only frustrating part is getting the magnet in. Don't have a plastic hammer. Jack, you can just use like a piece of wood and put the wood against the magnet and hit the magnet with, or sorry, hit the piece of wood with a regular hammer, you know? Yeah, I mean, it's stunning. It's stunning. A wild Echibat appears with organization porn. Tape them in place. It works, yeah. Sure. That'd be fine too. I mean, do the magnets just hold the individual units together? Mine is all black and orange. Pink-orange acrylic. Alright, so what should I do next here on this guy? Guys can have kind of a better look at the what the sort of the top unit looks like on this guy. Love my Game Envy Wizard rank 10 and 14s. Thanks, Tear. We'll just hide how much I was swearing when putting together the first two, yeah. Too much. Do. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Love my game. Yeah, we read that. Looks amazing. You move the wrong way and all the supports between the top and bottom plate pop out. Getting the screw and slide out. Yeah, some of those things, they're not, you know, they can be really challenging to get everything together. You need one of those projects where you need 18 hands, right? May I ask what SGDQ is? Games, isn't it? Shit, I can't remember myself. Games done quick? And then right as you're about to triumphantly say it's done, you realize you left out the back plate. Have to tear it all again. It's the same when you're building computers, right? Where you forget to put in the motherboard plate. You know, I can't remember the name of it, the shield. The motherboard shield. Build the whole thing. Build the whole thing. And then, you know, oh yeah, I have this left. I've done that. Let's have a look here. Very cool. So it's nice, works well. Every side you can put in magnets. Keeps it all together. Make sure the polarity's right. What's the initialism stand for? Yeah, I've heard of this Dreamcatcher. This is cool. They like speedrun. They speedrun games, right? And you for charity. It's neat. Actually, Drift, I don't know if you or Echibat are around, but can you throw the link to that wind-up game in chat again? I kept that open specifically because I wanted to look into that more, and I forgot and closed the tab, and I can't for the life of me remember what the name of it was. The wind-up game, yeah, the yellow wind-up console. Well, it wasn't a wind-up game, but it used a crank. Yeah, you know the one. It's not a wind-up game, but it has a... Yeah, oh, Playdate? Is that the one? There was a Kickstarter, right? Yeah, this is it. Playdate. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if you were all here when this was shown on stream, but this looks like a lot of fun. So for me, the worst was forgetting PCI cables when benching once. GTX 8800 Ultras have a super screech mode if you don't plug in the extra power cable. Yeah, it's true. So White Wolf, I at one time had a triple SLI 8800 setup. It heated the house. It was amazing. Yeah, this thing looks so cool. And it's not going to be terribly expensive either, is it? The price was somewhere, wasn't it? The pre-order price? There, see? It's only $29. I mean, you'd be stupid not to buy it, right? Kidding, it's $179. Thank you. Playdate. I gotta remember that. Playdate. Okay, so maybe we should glue some of these. Let's panel line first. Yeah, the dock. Yeah. What are you gluing? The house? Alright, let's do these. I'm sad my old GTX 780 died. It was a good classified card. With the raw power of Alberta Winter. So you did some overclocking competitions? I used to overclock everything, and I sort of stopped. I just thought I don't really need to do this. That poor desk fan. Yeah. I never did anything with liquid cooling though. Like, that's not totally true. I've done like the all-in-one liquid cooling, but never the real deal. That's not true. I built a 3D printer with liquid cooling. An ABS box. Whew, lots to panel line on this. I made it too complicated. Dry ice, yeah. You can buy dry ice again? Yeah. For those wondering what White Wolf is talking about, overclocking is a technique of speeding up your computer. The processing speed, basically, of the CPU by just making it run faster. But the problem is, the faster you make your PC run, the hotter it gets. And cooling becomes very important. And there are people who actually compete to see what the fastest stable clock speeds they could get were, and they just compete. They compete to see who can get the best numbers. And one of the techniques is basically taking the cooler, the fan, off of the top of your CPU, and instead putting on a pot, right? I think they're basically called pots, and you put dry ice in it, and basically super cool the big old chip in the computer. I've never done it or even seen it done in person, but it sounds really neat. I'd like to see somebody do that one day. Yeah, machine copper cooling pots, yeah. Kingpin cooling. Still the main name for such. Cool. Yeah, I never really got into it. It's neat stuff, though. Man. There's a lot to line on these. Yeah, they are really heavily detailed little things, aren't they? I regret making them as fancy. I should have just left them as just long tubes. Shit, first magnet wrong. Oh no! Did you get the polarity backwards? I even warned you. Yeah, it is an expensive side of the Drift. Drift is laughing at you, Jack. Double check. Double check. I've done exactly the same thing. You know, I've made, you know, designed 3D printed things where they're, you know, magnetically held together. And you fuck that up, or you do the thing, the little trick. I don't know if any of you have done this, where you actually stop a print mid-print, and you've created a little place to put the magnet, and then it gets printed over, so it's completely encapsulated in there. I've done stuff like that, and I've fucked that up. It's like, okay, I guess I'll just make a new one. Are you gluing the magnets in? Because you should be able to just yank it out with your teeth. It's terrible, terrible advice. Should just make a point redeem for just bad advice. See that? That was called karma. Jeez. There's panel liner everywhere. Oh, you're able to just push it through. Perfect. Yeah, that's great, White Wolf. You still got it. All right, that's probably good enough on that one. Oh, wait, no. 3 down, 3 to go. Let's do the main body first, though. Imagine using a winter swimming pool to overclock. Yeah. Or in northern Russia, you could just put the computer outside, right? Well, actually, a lot of Canada's like that too. Where you're at the cottage, the refrigerator door in the kitchen just opens to the outside, and there's a table. So here's an overclocking setup using nitrogen, liquid nitrogen. So this is the copper pot that it's insulated because you don't want any condensation forming on anything else. So you have to insulate it, and then you pour liquid nitrogen in there, and it conducts through the copper to keep the heats back. Dry ice. Apologies. You use the same pot, though, don't you? Do you use the same kind of pot, or is it a different setup? Very cool. And crazy. Same cooling pots. So the liquid nitrogen allows you to use things like DR8AUR Beast, which is a few. Huh. Okay. The older Kingpin cooling pots, which had removable bottoms, so much ice buildup that they sealed. Doesn't. Okay. Neat stuff. Battle of the Cold Things. Does anything interesting happen when dry ice touches liquid nitrogen? I have no idea. Okay, one more little bit there. Too much. Get these. Oops. So, White Wolf, I hope I didn't turn you off getting some of those resin kits. That wasn't my intention. It's just always a difficult, it's a very open-ended and difficult question to answer. You know, what are your thoughts on? So I never know if people want my perspective from my level of experience, or are they asking if it would be a good fit for them, or you know, or you know what, you know, or where to go. I never know really what to say. Yeah, I mean, without sounding like a git, you know, I mean, resin kits are like this kind of a resin kit. You know, they're advanced, right? They're they require certain skills to pull off well that are tedious and require you to sort of think outside the box. So I'm always, people who are coming from Gunpla, I usually like to just warn them straight up, like it'll be nothing like that. And you may find it super frustrating if all you're into is like a Gunpla Neon kind of like, clip, sand, snap type experience. That's not to say that I think you're like that. I'm just saying that I never really know. I don't know what people's skill levels are and some things. And I would hate to recommend, a $300 kit to somebody only to have them just completely be in over their head, if that makes sense. And I know that's not you, because I know you seem quite comfortable starting in on those conversion kits that you were doing, the Zaku and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, there's just, with these things, they're very much hobbyist, I think, created, and hobbyist, there is an expectation that you sort of have done, that you kind of know what you're doing, right, before you start one. So, which is why I think Drift has actually made the great decision himself to, before doing that big 5-star series Dakas, to try a smaller one. And that one that you did, or the one that you showed, that one that, like the BattleTech one, that looked like a great kind of like, first steps into full resin, right? You get to pin, you learn pinning, you learn a few things with that. There's some really neat things you can do with pinning that just are handy to know. Like you can actually make joints that work just by some little tricks with the cyanoacrylate and keeping the cyano moving while you let it dries. But yeah, I mean, the point though was, the Dictator B from Talon Games is also done by Trenchworks. Yeah. So Drift went and bought, as I mentioned, the Atlas, but it sounds like you have a Rook, which is also a really good first little taste. It's not like an overwhelming, multi, like 300, 200, 300 part kit. It's not a million little tiny itty bitty things that need to be glued, and pinned. It's just kind of like simple, right? Which is a good place to start to kind of, and then you can kind of say to yourself, all right, you know what? I get this. I'm cool with this. I enjoy this. And now I'm going to buy a really huge one. But the point I was going to make is that if you really want the Mursa Kshatriya or the Sazabi, the YJ Sazabi, or the Deep Striker, then go for it. Just buy them, because who knows if you'll like that's the thing. Like the Mursa 666, I have never seen it restocked. So same with the Sazabi. Like it's right now, I don't know if it's a COVID thing, but it's really hard to find that one as a as an original kit. Yeah, the Dawn Tropin I don't know too much about, but that's fine. I mean, that's cool. But then the other one, the Deep Striker is one that I have never seen for sale anywhere, ever, outside of a recast. And I have a feeling it was I think it might have been like a one-day license thing, where it was never, because it's not a conversion kit. It's not one, it doesn't fall into that weird kind of land of like where the Mursa stuff is. So I don't know. But I mean, mine is a recast. It's okay. It's definitely, looking at it, going to be a lot of work. The instructions are so poor that a lot of figuring out what goes is total guesswork. Yeah. So anyway, it's also small. I wish it was bigger. Yeah, the Sazabi is such a good kid. What am I leaning towards building next? Oh, I don't know, Drift. I mean, I'll do a poll. I'll let you guys decide. And I'll curate the list, though. I'll curate the list. Like, let me bring up my backlog. Easier just to do this. Yeah, so I don't want to do a gunpla. The Maquet, I might put the Maquet Custer on the list. Let me just do this properly here for you guys. So this guy. Pretty cool, but also pretty similar to what we have here, you know? I could do it in a different color. I could do them in a blue or something like that. Yeah. All of the ones that look like these are really, they're really cool. I also have a bunch of this style of thing. But the Custer, I have the Custer. What else is there? Those are all just little guys. I had the Eva on the last list, but I don't think I'll do the Eva. I'll put the Napalm Inferno back on the list. That might be fun. I'm gonna just do the Peanut one night, just out of the blue. I'll just do the Peanut on a stream. I might put the Fish Submarine on. I'm kind of feeling like... Actually, you know what? No. I should really finish the Waldo. I'll put finishing the Waldo in the poll. We're working on this currently. I don't know if I'll put... Well, I don't know. I mean, I love doing Luca's stuff. Maybe the Hecaton this time. Or maybe the Bower. Maybe the Bower. I'll just build it. Build it for White Wolf. I really would like to do my workshop cast, Gasnus Temple. No, but I was thinking it might give you, it might, you know, you could decide whether or not it's one that you want, right? No, not doing the 135. These ones are just giant. I don't know if I want to deal with a huge one yet again. And these are all large-breasted women, so I can't really do them on stream, except Spike. And I don't think I want to do a conversion yet again. So yeah, I mean, I got these ones I don't have yet. So I mean, that's kind of my short list, if I had one. I mean, what do you think? What are your thoughts? What would you guys like to see me do next? Do you want to see me go back to 5-star stories, or do you want to see some Maschinenkrieger for a change? Which is kind of like old school. It's like old school scale modeling, right? Like not snap fit. Parts need to be glued. Tear wants to see Waldo. I mean, I should rightly just finish up Waldo. Oh, you might not have been here. You might not have been here, Wolf, when I showed Waldo. See, Tear is OG, right? Tear is OG. So... she was here before you guys showed up. When I was building a... let me pull up the reference. I don't want to get the kit back out, but I can certainly show you my reference page. First. Where is it? Load recent. No, just gotta do it this way. Load. Halfway or the end. Okay, so prior to... So there's sort of been three... This is the fourth model that's been on the Corvus Oculum show. The one that we're working on now. The first one I worked on was the kit called the Waldo from... It's artwork by Ian McHugh that was realized as a model by Fitch and Fu. aka Industria Mechanica, and this is my reference piece, basically. Like, this is the one that he did up that I'm trying to get, you know, sort of a similar style to. He's done some extra shit, like this isn't part of the kit, and neither is the post or the bird, but the rest of it is basically the same. So that's kind of what it looks like, and it's from, well, White Wolf, you could try to buy drifts. He might sell it to you at a huge markup. But I'm like maybe 70% through this kit. So, and it's going to be done the same way as this, as I have these posts. It's going to be moored against this post. But I have a lot of I have a lot of just like it gets. I can fill the role of a scalper. He's firing up Yahoo Japan auctions right now. But you got a rook, though. You got a rook. And I mean, I know you two, I think, are more into the whole battle, like the BattleTech kind of look of mecha than I am. I didn't, the knight, the aesthetics of the knight, like that style of mecha doesn't really do a lot for me, so I never bought one. But because I never played those games. But the rook was cool. I liked the rook because the rook was different. So I don't know. My opinion, White Wolf, you got the better of the two. But anyway, that's the Waldo, and it is also you know, in the words of Echibat, weathered to fuck. It's got the fuck weathered out of it. Like in this picture here, there is no fuck left because it's all been weathered out, right? So mine is the same. And I want to do a diorama like this with water and everything. Anyway, so that's the Waldo. I mean, maybe I'll just veto and do the Waldo next. I'll think about it. Mach-A would be pretty cool too, though. Oh, Drift, you're just like really, you're just kicking him when he's down, hey? Nah, of course it won't. And White Wolf, I don't know if you were here when I revealed my secret, the secret sauce for the LED and the those big exhaust sort of vents on the back of it. But when you get your kit, if you haven't gotten it already, when you get it, you look at it and you see how those are done, and you wonder how I got an LED in there. Yeah. Anyway, if you want to do the same thing, let me know, and I can re-explain what I did, because it worked really well, and it wasn't that hard. It has huge tabs. Yeah, it does. Well, some people, it's maybe outside of their comfort zone. I'm kind of like, put lights in everything. I mean, I put a light in the last one we did for no reason at all, right? Didn't need it at all. But I don't know, the Rook though really, like, it really kind of it kind of asks for it. I need to paint the minis, is what I need to do for that. Because I have the pilot. Tear. Thank you, Tear. Much appreciated. Too kind. Tear, thank you. It's awesome. Big love. Enjoy the emotes, White Wolf. Well, you can share the love, White Wolf. You can gift sub someone else. The Rook does have a ton of personality. Yeah. And now the one that Rook got, actually, so the Rook, sorry, that Drift got actually seems like it was in like it was a better cast than I got. The casting that I got was really, there was a huge amount of slip. Luca's stuff. That's my answer. Luca's. The hackathon. Do you mean like not terribly expensive stuff? Because I can try to think of some stuff and send it your way. Actually, there's Teco Toys. I mean, you guys know of Teco Toys, right? The eyes creep me out. So that's not your cup of tea. The more insecty ones, not your cup of tea. So Teco is the guy who designed the Rook and the it's basically Michael Herm's company. So you could look into this. TECCOTOYS. They are 3D printable. Drift, this might be... I don't know if you know about this, but you probably do because you tend to know about everything in this realm. But, yeah. And it started as a Kickstarter that failed. And so he just said, fuck it, I'll sell the STLs. But I don't know if you do 3D printing, White Wolf, but this is another sort of option where they're 3D printed files. And I don't know if oh, it's just this, it's just Teco Toys. There you go, Jack. But they're just STLs. You need to print them. And by STLs, I mean like they're just the 3D printable files. You need to do that yourself. Preferably under 200. Okay, well I'll think about it. I'll think about it. And Drift might have some suggestions too, or Etchibat, as well. But I need coffee so badly, but I don't trust my client's coffee maker to be noisy. Not be noisy, yeah. Yeah, well, these actually, Jack, these aren't as like they're not that complicated. So it's not like you're giving your friend this like, hey, can you print this for me? It's 300 parts. But anyway, I don't think they're pre-supported though, which is too bad. He talks a lot about Formlabs, which is like stupid. Anyway, Teco Toys, check it out. Yeah, I'll put some thought into that, White Wolf. Under 200. Resin. It's like a little piece of tape there. Lucas Pinkman is tempting. I want the Pinkman. I want that one. That is officially the only kit of his I don't have. You know, of the designs. I mean, there are obviously other versions of them that I don't have, but White Wolf, when I bought the Briegel, it was I think 600 Canadian shipped. but it's huge. Yeah, I'm just letting you know that he doesn't really talk about pricing for stuff because he told me he just gets a whole lot of negative publicity about stuff being too expensive. But I think it was around 600 Canadian shipped. So it was like 550, I think, or something like that. Very similar to this. I mean, you saw me what we did to get the Schnabelgun together. Very similar. Nothing crazy needed to be done. All of Luca's stuff is so big and beefy that you have loads of space to drill giant holes and put massive pins and everything. I think because Luca's doing everything entirely by hand, that Dreamcatcher, take care, man. Take care, my friend. Have a good one. Maybe I'll catch you on Wednesday. Yeah, everything was big and chunky on the Breagle, so pretty fun build, Like, see, that's where my statements from Discord change a little bit, right? Where, if you were to say, what are your thoughts on a Schnabelgun or a Breagle or a Garibaldi, I'd be like, go for it. Anybody with some scale model experience can build those by watching a few videos, watching this stream, that kind of thing. I mean, you said you've been here since the Resin kit. Did you watch me do the Machine Messiah AUGE? Anyway, if you saw me do the Machine Messiah, or even this one, like the pinning and stuff on the Schnabelgun, it's the same. You've got all the skills you need if you watch me do that. Drill, glue, pin. Now, like, where some of the stuff that might be outside of some people's comfort zones come into play is like what I did for this. Right? What I did for this piece. Hey, J-Chan, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm just discussing kits, resin kits. But if I recall correctly, like with the Breagle White Wolf, you don't actually need to do... He kind of gives you everything you need for that kit if you want to just build it as is and not do any mods. Just lots and lots of panel lining, J-Chan. Unending. Thank you, I appreciate that. This is that hairspray chipping I was telling you about. Does this, all this effect? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you kind of need an airbrush to do this. That one's been done. I think I got them all. Yeah. This actually, these tanks were all scratch built by myself as well. These were originally made out of styrene sheets, like plow plate, you know, and tubing that was glued together. And then I used Aves epoxy sculpt to make these little nodes that the pipes attach to, and the pipes are made out of solder. And then I made a master, and I cast them in resin to duplicate them into 6. I have 6 of them now, all made out of resin. Yeah, these parts were all done from scratch. Because I didn't like the looks of the ones that came with the kit. They were kind of lame. Etchibat said they looked like tampons. She's not wrong. All right, get those out of the way. Actually, before we move on, yeah, like this kind of stuff, like polystyrene tubing for modeling. Just different diameters that I put together. The rounded ends are ball bearings that I just glued in. Tear, you're heading off. Good night. Have a good one. Thank you for the subscription. Big love. Big love. Sorry your workday starts so early. That sucks. But thank you, and catch you on Wednesday. And then these lines here, like these 2 pipes that you see kind of on the surface of it, that's just electrical solder, which I glue in place. Works really well for doing details like that. And then Jay Chan, I made this silicone mold with the master, so you can kind of see in there the detail of it. And then I can cast duplicates of these. I can make as many of these as I want. Maybe I'll use them on some other kit. Just with this, by pouring resin into that. So for the polystyrene, gluing that together, I use like styrene cement. And for the rest of it is just cyanoacrylate. Just cyano. Just crazy glue, you know. Oh, we have to do this piece. It's fun though. It's fun. I regret not doing that on stream. I should have. You guys probably would have liked to see that. Drift, Etchy, I don't know if you guys do a lot of that kind of scratch building stuff. or have ever. I mean, I don't think anyone really does a lot of it ever. But if you've kind of looked at a kit and said, screw it, I want this gun to be bigger. No, but you want to? Well, if the idea, if the subject presents itself again, if an opportunity, presents itself again, I will, I'll do that on stream. Because it's actually surprisingly easy. And you're in a good place, Drift. You betrayed us by doing your craft on your own time. TJ out of the blue with the salt. How are you doing, TJ? Oh, Etchibat, you've done some of that kind of stuff? That's awesome. I made one, yeah, or greatest or J10, and I recast the rest. Hey, thank you for the biddies.
Thanks for the tips.
You bet. The oh, what was I gonna say? Once I get the Hello Kitty Zaku, yeah. What are you gonna do? If you don't mind me asking. Or is it all secret? Just cleaning up a slight incident with whiskey and hot glue. Oh, gothing her up. Yeah. Nice. So are you gonna sculpt some cat skulls? Because that's something I have a hard time with, is sculpting. I need to get proper clay. I need to just invest some time and money and get some some cost clay or so you're gonna actually sculpt cat skulls, like anatomically correct cat skulls to go on there. Is that the plan? Because that'd be sweet. Nice. Nice. Yeah, my problem is I try to do it with Abe's epoxy sculpt, and I don't think it's the right material for that kind of thing. I always start and it ends up looking like a potato. I get the potato quality. That's it. That's exactly it, right? Is it's way too sticky. Even doing these was a huge pain in the butt. So I gotta just buy some. Stop being a dum-dum. So I think Etchibat lights my worm gear. Yeah. Nice. All right. Legs. Have I seen the worm gear? Is that on Discord? Am I being dumb? Am I being a dum-dum? Oh yeah, here we go. That's nice. Good work. And is that all cost, Clay? TJ. Very cool. Wings are styrene, I think. Main body is Reaper bones. Oh, it's green stuff and epoxy sculpt. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can kind of see some white. Is that what you mean by it's styrene? Like you used a really thin styrene sheet and then you put the green stuff on top of it? Regardless, it looks wonderful. Very cool. No, by styrene I mean more, you can see my raw pics here. Oh, okay. Switch. There we go. I hate it when you can't zoom. Very cool. Yeah, I don't know what Reaper miniatures are made out of. Wouldn't they be ABS? Or, not ABS. I don't know. Okay, I think I've panel lined these already in oils. And I definitely have done this. So it's just a matter of doing these plates. Luca doesn't do discounts. Going back to a previous topic, I wonder what Luca would say if he'd offer a discount if I got a Bauer Schnabelgun and the big one. I've tried that in the past. And it's like a no. You see, the problem with Luca, right, is that White Wolf is that his stuff sells, like, all of it sells really quickly. And he takes pre-orders. He does cast runs of 50 units, typically, and he'll usually sell them all out, right? So he doesn't really feel like he needs to. He doesn't really feel like he needs to do any kind of discounting. And I mean, if I was in his position, I wouldn't either, you know. So that means I'd order and have to wait a few months. Yeah, if you want to do an order of multiple things of his, you need to reach out to him and say, look, I figured. But you tell him what you want, and he'll let you know, like, roughly when he's going to be getting around to recasting them. But Luca very often will only have one model available at a time. So, yeah. He's super friendly. I talk to him usually on Instagram. Send him Instagram DMs. But he'll only talk about pricing and ordering through his email. It's funny, I actually talk to him more about 5-Star Stories stuff than his own stuff. I want to get one of those Dora kits, like the big one that I'm assuming you don't mean Dora the Explorer, you know, with the map. You mean the big gun? I got the springs, I think, off of AliExpress. They're just like 5mm. I think you can just order like 5mm springs. Yeah, there's 6mm outer diameter. But I mean, you could use whatever. You don't even need to use a spring in there. You could just use a big wire, right? Yeah, the big gun. Four Dads is going to be like, dude. Yeah, the Briegel was really expensive. It was really expensive. But White Wolf, it's like really epic. It's really big and impressive. Like, you kind of get your money's worth with it. You'd have to think about the Schnabelgun. Not a fan. Not a fan of the Schnab. You have made the Plata Schnab cry. Oh, I see. Okay. I have two of them, but one of them I got heavily discounted from Fitch and Foo. When he was selling all of his kits that he knew he would never build. Karen's Military Museum has a tiny version of the Dora, and it is impressive. Did you see the picture that Four Dads posted? Four Dads, by the way, is still alive. Still alive. He's not locked in the basement of the hotel, the motel. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That one looks smaller than the one though at my local shop. The one that he posted. It could be just the sort of the scale of the picture playing tricks on me. All right. Got half an hour. Let's do some painting. I don't think I'll get around to doing washes tonight. But this piece is bugging me. Been tempted by Luxumbria's Equip Mirage. No idea what that is. Let's look. That's really nice. TJ, you might like this. Very cool. What's the scale? Okay, here we go. See, that's for me. That's too expensive for something that's only 10 centimeters tall. But you know, I'm you know, I build big things. Doesn't mean I'm not trying to say it's overpriced. I'm just saying I don't know. I attribute value to size. Because I'm a knucklehead. Six large rolls of paper tape. Thought of you in a nice way. Do you mean you thought of her wall? The wall? The wall of tape? So there's a little bit of modding done here. This little tiny cylinder you see here was added because these things don't sit well at all against the fronts, against these plates. So I extended them out a bit. But what we want to do is this pattern. This really, really frustrating pattern that I don't know why I picked. I don't know why I picked a checkerboard pattern. It's like... I just make everything hard for myself. The MSRP on the Equip Mirage 5 tabletop version is $49. Yeah, I mean, if you can get them in Canada, but it's also cast in white metal. Ugh, no thanks. I hate metal. I hate metal casts. All right. You know what? It's I used to do that as a young teenager, deal with those, and it sucked. Maybe they're just a lot better now. But I always just remember the glue never working well. That shit would break off. That's the normal price for a mini here. Well, good to. I honestly, I'm out of the loop on it. I'm out of the loop on it, TJ. Especially a decent one. Yeah. I'm just a bit out of the loop. That's all. Because I don't paint them. So I don't know. It's like when Etchibat talked about the price of the ball jointed dolls, right? And I was kind of just like, huh? They're so expensive. What can you do? That's it. That's what it is. What can you do? But you know what I mean, Etchibat. It's not like I'm not saying that I think they're overpriced. I'm saying that as an outsider looking in, I don't understand. I just don't understand the value, where the value is in them. But when you get into it, you know, because remember, I mean, I'm not. It's a sticker shock, yeah. If you're not into the hobby, that's exactly it. It's well put. You know, because I'm side-eyeing a box of hollow vinyl parts over there that was, you know, pretty expensive. So I'm not. It's not that I don't invest in the hobby to a to a stupid extent. It's just the, you know, I look at something that's what was that? What was the other one? It was 89, sorry, basically 90 euros. Yeah, so that so the Equip Mirage 10 centimeter tall mini is $140 Canadian. So is that going rate, White Wolf, for something like that here? 140 worth of hollow point 9mm would be more fun. Not allowed to have them anymore. My mother would have had a heart attack at the cost of the Dom Tropin conversion kit. Doubly so. On top of that. Well, yeah, but you see, there you see I have an easier time with the value. Because it's like a $150 shipped, probably, right? For a 10 centimeter tall minifig. Mini, right? My kids went through that Lego phase when they just lived and breathed Lego. And I have a hard time not saying fig after the word mini now. It's dumb. I'm dumb. But you know, I think, well, so you're talking like $400 for a Dom Tropin and the conversion kit combined versus bump the camera there, 4 minis, right? I would rather have the Dom Tropin, you know, like hands down, no question asked. But it's just odd. It's just odd to me. 450 plus, okay, so then 6 or 7 minis versus that kit, right? Like, which do you pick? For me, it's gonna be that kit. So I'm just making a grid of little tiny tape squares. Because checkerboards are fun, apparently. All right, so we need to match these up. All right, so how do I want to do this? No, I'm gonna lay down the red. Is that the red or the yellow? Let's put the red down. So. Want to get it roughly at the same latitude. White Wolf, TJ's asking, is that the Zaku one? It's pretty awesome. It's a pretty awesome conversion. I agree. All right, hit this with some red. You're not wrong, TJ. As far as conversion kits go, it's actually quite expensive, in my opinion. It must just have a lot to it. Holiday since November. Wow. Yeah, I'm having issues with my cameras. Apologies. You know, I upgraded. There was a OBS 2701 upgrade today, which I'm wondering is responsible for some of these issues. So at the beginning of the stream, it was a screw up with this one. What I'd like to do is convert them all to HDMI. Alright, so what are we doing here? Where's my other piece? So let's go with this. Wait. Yeah. Looked at that smooth on resin rubber. Spoke to the locals, all out of stock, back to pink still. Yeah. Well, if you ever happen across it, it is good stuff. But I mean, probably nothing wrong with pink still. Wonder what'll break for Thunderhead. Yeah. I want to get, like I was saying, I want to get rid of my webcams entirely and just use proper cameras, ultimately. I keep my eye out on the local market for things like this, the, you know, Sony's 5100s or 6000s. If I can get them for a couple $100. And then eventually I'll just upgrade, probably get that Avermedia, or not Avermedia, sorry, the Elgato 4 input card or something like that. I mean, I probably don't even need a face camera on the spray booth, to be honest with you. But I don't know, I find streams that don't have the person's face in them kind of weird. I don't like watching those. I know there are people who actually prefer those, but that's not me. So there are no other versions of Pinksil? Just one on a rotating platform. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I know, but I've talked to people who prefer the ones where they don't. I don't know. I need to see who's speaking. Really? Wow. Because like 6 minutes, yeah, I mean like, fuck, I just did it like a few weeks ago with the that mold, but like Etchibat, maybe you remember, like, I mean, is 6 minutes gonna be enough to vacuum degas and pour a silicone mold? Seems like it'd be pretty tight. I should time mine. 6 minutes is gonna get really close. Unless you have like one hell of a vacuum pump. So like TJ, what happens after 6 minutes is like, so when is the like, so at 6 minutes, is it solid or is it like super stiff and impossible to pour? Hey, Greatest Chan, no worries. Take care, my friend. Have a good one. Have a good one. Try to catch your next one. White Wolf, you too, my friend. Have a good one. I'll try to think of some kits that are under $200. Hey, no worries. It's what we're here for, to enable. damaged my tweezers doing something stupid. Checkerboards. Why? Why did I do a checkerboard? Alright, that should do. No, we'll do one down here. One here. Alright, that'll work. Alright, y'all, my turn to drop off. Alright, take care, Etchibat. Have a good one. Enjoy your Sunday. We're just going to paint this up and do the chipping on it, and then I'm going to call it quits too. Take care. God, that's hot. All right. Now we want yellow. Maybe the camera will hold its own. Maybe it won't. That'll do. All right. I painted this much brighter than the other one. I'll have to tone that down a bit. All right, there we go. Okay. It's in my mouth. That'll work. I need to let that dry. Is your 3D printer resin or plastic? Is it worth the effort to have one? I have one of each. Sorry. I have one of each. I have an Anycubic Photon, which is a sort of like a first generation resin printer. It's okay. It's a lot of work getting good large prints out of it. I'd like to upgrade it, but I'm going to wait for prices to come down a little bit because I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with 3D printers. And then my other one is a very big format FDM printer, the plastic kind. So I have one of each. I use them both for all kinds of things. TJ, I used to have an Etsy business where I would sell 3D printed minis, like what you paint, which is why, like, I'm able to do this giveaway. You know, when we have our 200 follower giveaway, I'm going to be giving away this Hellboy. I'm going to do a giveaway for the Hellboy bust. Comes with 2 heads. That was done on a Piopoly Moai 3D printer, but as a second one that I'm going to also give away when we hit 200 followers is this Chaos Minotaur as well. So I mean, I used to sell these, and these are just leftovers that I'll never paint. So is it worth the effort? Is it worth the effort? Yeah, I would say it is. If you, I would say it definitely is for somebody like yourself who paints that style of mini. Like, you get a lot of free content rather than spending a lot of money. There are some really neat. I wonder if I can show this to you. It's kind of tossy. Let me just see here. Tossy, is that a word? TOS. It's TOS-y content. Two-factor shit, hang on. So you can get access to, if you have a 3D printer, you know, this is a Patreon account for ritual casting, and every month, I think he's $15 American, and every month he releases STLs for a 1/6, or is it 1/6 or 1/24? I can't remember the scale, but maybe about like 7-8 inch tall statuettes that you would just print and paint, and it's $15, right? So you know, having a 3D resin printer, emphasis on resin for this kind of stuff, for what you're doing, it opens a whole other world of minis that are going to be probably quite affordable compared to like $90 resin casts that you would pay for. So cool. He does, with most of his monthly releases, it's he'll do a not safe for work one as well as a safe for work one, which is kind of silly. I mean, hey, sex sells, right? But often it's just like the same. You know, there's like an artistic way of presenting nudity, but the way that he does it, it's kind of like you can get the same model with boobs out or boobs covered, is basically what it comes down to. But a lot of the stuff is that he's done is yeah, I know it's weird, but it's like, you know, oh, I guess I better make the version with tits now. But some of the times too, he'll design the sculpts so that they're magnetically. You'll have different arms and things, and you'll be able to put in magnets. I have a nice one that's done all with magnets that you can change the arms, different guns, gun, crossbow, sword kind of thing. Really well engineered. So I would, if you're thinking of doing, I know I agree, Drift, it's ridiculous. And who knows how long he'll be doing it for, right? Because he's such a weird guy. But if you're thinking of getting a 3D printer, TJ, actually Drift is a good guy to talk to as well about that, because he's probably knows more about the current stuff with 3D printers than I do. Because I bought a bunch of, you know, the Anycubic Photons when I had my store going, and I sold all of them but one when I shut all that down, and I've never upgraded it, and it's okay, but it's kind of like, it doesn't print as nicely as it used to because it's literally printed thousands and thousands of things. But yeah, it is amazing that there are very few people doing mecha in 3D or you know, for print, you know. I agree. And I mean, I worry about Fu because he'll put a Facebook post up that says, you know, I'm thinking of just becoming a plumber. What's interesting too, though, about yeah, he's so weird. I could, yeah, one day over coffee, maybe in the far future. But he, I mean, that comment, the two bulls in a china shop with him and Lucas Ampriolo, just imagine those two yelling, screaming at each other that shit's not selling and the stuff isn't saleable, is basically the argument. Yeah. So what I would have to say to you, TJ, about that is you may have heard rumors about how you do have to sort of pamper and care for 3D printers, and there's a huge amount of tweaking and all kinds of shit that you need to do to keep them running, and you're constantly tinkering with them, and they're just basically just void zones of your time. And that is true of the FDM filament-based printers. In my experience, and I don't know if Drift shares the same experience, with the resin printers, once you get them working, they're pretty much carefree. You just keep resin in it, keep them printing, and they're good. There's very little tweaking that has to be done. You do need to learn how to put in supports in the software, but they're nothing like the crap that you deal with the FDM printers. Now, as I think he just said in chat, with me only scanning it, there's a cleanup routine that you need to follow. It's a little more messy. You're right, but just invest in one of those cure and clean machines, and it's toxic in a large amount of failures. See, I would agree with it being toxic, but I would disagree with the large amount of failures. The failures in resin printing are typically a result of you not having supported it the same, or supported it properly. You know, you have to, when you create a figure, or when you get something ready to print, you can't print in midair, right? So you have to have something that connects the piece that's in midair to the build plate. And you have to put all those pieces in the software, all those little support, they're like breakaway supports that you have to put in. It's usually just inexperience in doing that results in the failures. But a DLP printer will, if you've done it correctly, and it's the build, like literally all that has to happen is the build plate needs to be leveled correctly. And once you've done that, it'll print perfectly every time. I get way more failures with my FDM printer than I ever did with my SLA, with either of my SLAs. Sometimes the prints, if you're on a Patreon, like there's a whole bunch of them, like Artisan Guild, some of the really big ones. Artisan Guild comes to mind immediately. Cast and Play. There's a few anyway that are doing sort of tabletop gaming size minis, including big epic ones, like your dragon and whatnot that you have, and the demon. But those often do come pre-supported. However, these ones that I just showed you, I don't think he sells pre-supported. So it really depends on the Patreon. And I mean, it's toxic, but at the same time, you know, so is the bleach that you wash your laundry with, right? It's all just how you handle it. You know, I've dealt with it. You know, it's not. I don't think it's as toxic as people let on if you're smart about it. You know, wear gloves, try not to touch it, make sure there's ventilation. It's easy enough, and it's easy enough to vent. Yeah, right. Oxygen is toxic. Yeah, yet you still keep breathing. That's right. That's right, Papa. I mean, you know, it's one of those weird things. Like so is the resin. That dragon that you've got, right, that you're putting together. The kits that you got from I deal with asbestos and chemicals at work. I don't want to deal with them at home. And dust, yeah. Well, you kind of are, right? That's dust that you're sanding that's coming off of those dragon wings. That's just as toxic. Oxygen is the most corrosive substance in the universe. I had no idea, Papa Duke. Corrosion is something being turned into. I can deal with a bit of resin dust, but I don't want wet chemicals here. Yeah, hey, fair enough. Fair enough. It's not for everybody. Anyway, folks, I think that's it for me for tonight. Thank you all. It was fun. Stick around for the raid. We're going to raid Genuine Vision. And I'll be back on Wednesday. So, thanks everybody. Take care. Cheers.
Corvus Oculum! Welcome in, matey. That was the best I came out of. Oh! I'm jumpy this morning. Hey. Orange Drift, how you doing? Corvus, thank you very much for that raid, mate. Welcome in, welcome in. A happy Sunday to you guys. We are finishing up a little minion from a bigger diorama piece of